Happy Friday. Welcome to our episode 4 of Living Well with Purpose. Today I have a special guest, as you can see, Wynn Sisk. She's going to share with us a little bit all about peptides, actually. Probably in my eyes, I see her as my expert. But as you hear from her, you guys are going to be blown away by the information. I had the privilege of being able to chat with her, and specifically about peptides, because there was something that I was dealing with, and I honestly I'm still there, and I am so excited to I thought, if I'm having this issue with my waist area and like feeling like I'm all of a sudden keeping weight in my waist area, and then I'm like, what do I need to do? If I'm having those issues, I thought I want to bring this on to our listeners and see. I mean, there might be somebody else who it might be dealing with, and you're just like, Evelyn, yes, sign me up. What are you learning? So here's what I'm learning. I'm bringing Wynn in to share with what I'm learning, and we're all about this wellness journey, right? A lot of you know that I'm with Norwex, and Norwex for me has always been a journey in the wellness world. And we start right where we're at, but then this leads to this. And for me, it was minimalism and decluttering our homes, and being able to have a space where we can find peace, where we can have mental space to just be creative, to do what we love to do. And sometimes you just have to get rid of all the clutter. And so it starts in our home. So today's a special episode because I'm going to be bringing in, we're going to talk about peptides. And Wynn is going to share with us, her background and all the things. But before I get into that, I want to give you a tip for your tree decorating. Maybe you're stressing, and there might be a chance that out of all of these listeners here, there could be one who maybe hasn't put up their Christmas tree yet, and that's okay. That's okay. So I'm going to give you an idea that you could easily put together a Christmas tree and not stress about it, right? Because we don't want to get into, oh, do I have it perfect? This is not how it's supposed to be. We don't want to get into that space because then we're not able to be creative. And so, I'm going to share with you a simple tree decorating tip that you could just maybe take it next year if you need to. Maybe you've kind of already put your Christmas tree and you've had the time to do it. And some of you probably did it in October, maybe the end of November. I don't know. But if this is for you and you're watching this, then I hope that this is helpful. So just a little background here. My mother-in-law, she's a sweet lady, taught me this a few years ago. And I went to her house, and she just got to a point where, she's like, the kids are gone. I want to have a Christmas tree up, but I don't want to do all of it by myself. So I love this idea. She put up candy canes on her tree. And she uses I don't know if it's tinsel, I don't even know what it is, but I found this idea where you could just use string, maybe just silver, a little simple string that you can get, from the store. And you can get different sizes in the candy canes too. Like you can go to the, Walmart or the Dollar Tree or whatever and just get candy canes, like a box of them. But get them in different sizes. That way these replace your ornaments. Very inexpensive idea, simple, easy, cost, effective there. And then just kind of string the silver, whatever color you really like, silver, gold. I'm sure they have a bronze color now. Sorry for all the things going on around here. I can't even pause that. I don't even know how to do that. But anyway, and then you can get the peppermint candy from the store. Get a bag of peppermint candy from the store. And that's pretty much it. That's pretty much it. So just use the string, the candy canes and different ideas, the peppermint candy, and then lights. I mean, I love the lights, and that's all you need, right? But this will bring some color to it. So that's a simple idea for you. And stick around till the end, because I'm going to give you, as a Hispanic Christian lifestyle coach, I also talk about a lot about the gospel and how we can share during this season. How can we share with a candy cane the gift of Jesus? So I'm going to share that with you at the end. So stick around after our talk about peptides, and I'll tell you how to get this into your hands. I actually have 3 and what we're going to talk about there. So, all right. So without further ado, let's get into our topic of peptides. First of all, Wynn, tell us a little bit about you, your background, and let's just start there.
All right. Well, thank you, first of all, for having me. I'm so excited to be here. And I love your tips about the candy cane. First of all, I'm a peppermint lover. So we always have a great excuse to have some candy in our house hanging on our tree. They go really fast, though. And I love the idea of decluttering, too, because I think the more, I've always said to myself, external chaos equals internal chaos. So the more kind of organized I am in the outside world, the better my head is, right? So I do appreciate that. So again, my name is Wynn Sisk. I'm a certified functional medicine health coach and consumer health advocate. I've been in this space, it's about 2003. I'm a mom of 4. I am an in vitro mom. I was told I could never have kids, and I don't like to be told no. So I defied the odds and went and made 4 babies. And that was the beginning of my journey. I come from a family heavy with doctors, and so loved that kind of, understanding the human body and health. But it kind of changed when I wasn't well, right? I looked well on the outside, but on paper, I wasn't necessarily. My body wasn't doing what it was supposed to do. So I went down my own rabbit hole looking at root cause, not just a pill for every ill. And my eyes were open. I actually found the answers I needed to be healthy. So I decided I've been sharing with people for a long time, really started with label reading, like you, Evelyn, looking at detergents and soaps and all of those things that are in our environment. And then it kind of transitioned to, what we're putting on our skin, what's at the end of our fork, who are the people we're surrounding ourselves with, because all of those things play a part in our living well, right? Mm-hmm. So that's why I'm here. So I'm always looking for things to help on a holistic path for better health, wellness, anti-aging, longevity, biohacking, whatever it is. There's so much information out there. So I kind of am like, I dig through the weeds to find the really good stuff. So I'm excited to share with y'all.
That's great. I love the holistic approach. And that's pretty much, where I guess in my mind, I think the Lord has created us with amazing human body. And it knows each function that it has to do. Like each part of the body has a function. And if we can tap into that, wow, right?
Yeah, I think along the way, we've forgotten how miraculous this tool is that we have.
Yeah.
We have so many tools that are already built inside of us to heal. And then we have the earth, the plants, all the things in nature that are here. They were the original form of medicine or healing. And we've gotten so far away from that. So there's so many gifts that are underutilized these days.
Yes, yes. So, okay, what is I keep bringing up the word peptide because that's a big word that I learned, just in the last couple of weeks. I've been so curious about it. Can you tell us what it is? What is the
Yeah.
big deal about them?
Well, the big deal, gosh, they're a super hot topic for a good reason. And what we're doing is we're making peptides available to the masses, and really kind of it's pioneering and changing the way that we think about our wellness. So a peptide, we actually have peptides in our body, right? Our bodies make peptides. There are about 7,000 that we currently know of, but there are way more than 7,000. We're in the process of discovering them. But we have them in our body. We just, age, trauma, environment, foods, all those things negatively impact our production, right? So a peptide is a short chain of amino acids. Amino acids are the building blocks of the cell, right? So there are two different types of peptides, and we're speaking in particular about one, but there are therapeutic peptides, which you've probably heard of if you've heard the buzzwords peptides. There are therapeutic peptides, which are actually synthetic peptides that are made in a lab. Okay. If you go back to what I was just saying about nature and all the wonderful tools that we actually have natural bioactive peptides that are found in nature. And that's what we're talking about. But I do want to clarify the difference before we get started. You've probably heard of people taking maybe Ozempic, right? That is a very, very, very popular therapeutic peptide right now. People are taking Ozempic for weight loss, to control diabetes. They are, again, that's a peptide that is made in the lab. It is very expensive, and it only comes with a prescription. They're injectable, okay? The reason why they're expensive and only injectable is because they're long chains of amino acids the body doesn't really recognize. Too long. They're unstable. So you have to inject them into the body. You have to have a prescription for them because there are side effects. You have to cycle on and off of these peptides. They're really great at the end result, but you might have some issues along the way. For instance, these people that are taking Ozempic, 40% of their weight that is lost is coming from bone and muscle. Those are two things that you do not want to lose, especially as you age. Okay. Mm-hmm. So there are other therapeutic peptides like BPC-157 that helps with muscle growth and energy. They're neuroprotective, gut protective, but also they come with side effects, very expensive. They have to be injected. We have bioactive precision peptides, which are found in nature, which are ingested. There are no side effects, and they're very targeted results for a fraction of the price. So they basically help optimize your body, your cells. They're little messengers that talk to your cells in your body to do things that they were intended to do. Little reminders. Mm-hmm. So they're really fascinating. They can do, things like glucose metabolism and energy production, hair growth, increase your collagen, increase your fat burning, increase your lean muscle mass, right? Focus, energy. They can help lengthen your cell life, mental clarity. There's so many benefits to these bioactive peptides.
Oh my goodness. Yeah. Oh my goodness. Such a wealth of information here. And I know if perhaps you're like me and you're just like, I was never into the wellness thing whatsoever. It was just more of like, can something make my life simple for me? Can something just make my life better? And maybe that was your motivator to even get into like wellness. But like I said, wellness for me has been a journey. It wasn't something that I was born with and was excited about. Now, my mom, on the other hand, loved it. I mean, if she could serve you a a bowl of like beautiful, healthy food, like she would. And in fact, I remember this, her telling me this when she was a little girl. She's like, when I was a little girl, I just envisioned myself bringing you this healthy meal and putting it at Jesus's feet. How beautiful is that? How beautiful is that? Oh my goodness. Okay, so when you're talking all this lingo, like I am tuning in and I'm saying, okay, I'm picking out the things that I'm like, ooh, I've heard of this before, like holistic. You talked about things that are being made in the lab versus things that are being found in nature and that we can use to help our bodies to function the way they were created to function.
Right.
And that's what like attracts me so much to this. And I'm just like, okay, this is awesome. So, okay, talk to me a little bit about like, okay, if peptides are, okay, actually, if you didn't pick this up real quick for my listeners here, there was two different types of peptides. There was the bioactive, and then there was the therapeutical. They're therapeutic peptides.
Right.
Bioactive sounds more like biology. Think of it. That's the easy. That's what comes from nature or things that I guess is plant based. Okay, so think about that biology. Therapeutic. It sounds nice, but that's what is created in the lab. That's what we're trying to move away from and put more into our body, like supplements, right? You shared with me supplement. Think of it as supplements. We think of supplements like vitamin C and vitamin D and, green juice. If you're taking green juice, like those are supplements. Those are good things that will help elevate our iron levels, our, the things that are going to help us continue to have that energy to do what we want to do. So peptides, the biopeptides, how is that? Can you get a little bit more in depth? Like how is that, where is that being created from? What is that being derived from?
Right. So just to go back a step too, these are superceuticals or super supplements, right? Because they're targeted. So a supplement across the board, like your vitamin C or D or K, those are just broad acting, right? Whereas peptides are they're very targeted what they do. So the energy production, the weight loss, the brain health, the gut health. So that's what really makes them really special. And because I mentioned we have the peptides in our body already, we're making peptides, right? Mm-hmm. But we also can't function without those peptides. And a lack of peptides ends up with a person with a weakened immune system, poor skin health, muscle loss, muscle weakness, digestive issues, cognitive decline, lack of energy, those sorts of things. So that's why it's really important to be fueling your body with peptides. Mm-hmm. But where we're sourcing them, so from nature, so they're not just from plants, right? So if you think about like collagen, we may get from, our collagen peptides may come from some sort of fish or seaweed, right? Or there are peptides in meat, right? So there are peptides in some dairy products. Now you don't have to worry about those sorts of allergies from peptides because it's just a fragment of, wherever it's sourced from. So they're coming from things in nature. One of the main peptides that we're using is coming from fava beans.
From what?
Fava beans.
Fava beans. I don't think I've ever even heard of them.
They're a lot of times used in a lot of Greek cooking. They're like almost like a big butter bean.
Okay.
Yeah. So, and then we have supporting nutrients around those peptides to really kind of enhance them and make them work synergistically too.
Okay, so you said they're not made in a lab. I'm sorry, and I'm probably going off script here, but this is just so good because I feel like these are questions that are going to come up. So how are they made?
So they're being extracted from sources in nature. The bioactive are. Now, as far as therapeutic, exactly how they're made in the lab, they're sourcing them from I believe, you can source some peptides from your body, right? But then they have to synthesize them in the lab, which is why they're complicated and why you have to inject them and why there can be side effects. Your body's like, what the heck is this?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So all of the lab that we have partnered with, they are getting these peptides from the plant and animal sources, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
The fava beans, the marine algae, the possibly bovine collagen. So it's pretty cool.
So our bodies create peptides, right?
Right. Over 7,000 we found in our body.
Okay. So do we create them on a daily basis? At the same time, we're losing them. And the more we,
yeah, we should be. Yes.
So we should be. Okay. And then the more we age, my understanding is the harder it is to retain those peptides.
And produce them. Yes.
Okay. And so that doesn't help our bones nor our muscle.
No. And that is a big issue, going back to that therapeutic peptide that people are using for weight loss, Wegovy, semaglutide, Ozempic, those are all kind of the same thing. When they're losing that weight, again, that's coming from muscle and bone. You want to lose fat, right? You lose weight, you want to lose fat, specifically visceral fat. That's the gnarly fat that hangs around your organs that's not good. So bioactive precision peptides, guess where the weight loss comes from?
From the fat. As
100% of the weight loss is from fat.
As opposed to, okay. So it's working with our body so that it will get rid of the visceral fat, but it also helps us to, if we're weightlifting, we are going to gain that muscle mass.
Yes.
If we are conditioning, then we're also going to help our bodies get rid of the fat, but the correct fat, the visceral fat.
So you're going to increase lean muscle mass. So we're not talking about, bodybuilding or whatever. We're just talking about the healthy muscle that we need as we grow older, which keeps our bones stronger as well. We're also going to kind of increase our metabolism, right? Going to kind of rev the body up. Not like a stimulant, but just making your body more efficient. I think I explained it to you, like, when you put hay on a fire, right? It goes, and that energy production is gone. It's like putting a log on the fire when you take the peptides. You've got long-term fat burning, metabolism. Your metabolism is just working like a well-oiled machine. It also inhibits losing muscle, because as you age, at the age of, I believe, 30, your muscle mass, and you start losing it very quickly after your 50s, and way quicker than we want to talk about. So we want to protect our muscles.
Oh my goodness! And you mentioned that we lose like an inch of muscle mass at around our 30s, and maybe
about 1%. I believe it's 1%. I can give you those exact stats. I think in your 30s you start losing about 1%, and then it starts increasing. But I need to look back at those exact numbers. But it also inhibits, these peptides also inhibit fat storage. So a lot of times our bodies are like, hey, let's hang on to this because, if our metabolism isn't working well, then we're just going to hang on to things. And then the peptides really work synergistically to enhance that muscle density and fat infiltration. So think of this, you've heard of a Wagyu steak, right? The Japanese Wagyu steak. It's like steak, and all they talk about is how the fat is marbled through the muscle. Well, that's great for a steak, but that's not great for you. You don't want that muscle infiltrating, or that fat infiltrating that muscle. So it inhibits that from happening, right?
Yeah.
So bone health, organ health, metabolic health, and overall quality of life.
Oh my goodness. Okay. So the problem is that our body should be creating these peptides. We do create them, but we're also losing them, right? And so we can get the help of bioactive peptides to help bring back that our body to function so that it can up our muscle mass, like good muscle, and lower our visceral fat content.
Those are two of the specific peptides, but we can also increase our mental clarity. We can also calm. So many people are in fight or flight. They're anxious. They're overwhelmed. They've got these high cortisol levels. So you can calm your body. You can focus your body or focus your mind. You can. There's actually an energized peptide. So a lot of people who are working out like to use that. Or we actually have hydrated too, which is an electrolyte, which most people are walking around dehydrated. So right now we have those 6 very specific peptides, but we've got in addition about 25 more coming. So with all the focus on being brain, body, beauty, and beyond.
That's great. Okay. Yes. So, you're kind of hinting at the fact that, hey, there's actually a way for you to get these peptides. So where do we get them? How do you tell my listeners, where do you get these peptides? How can you get them?
Well, there's this really incredible company that cares about you, your longevity, your mental health, your wellness. And, what was really important for me, I mentioned earlier being an avid label reader. I think I mentioned that. If I didn't, I am. And that's where I started. So really, all the right ingredients, nothing that, you don't need. And so the company is actually just launched a month ago. It's called Make Wellness. And we're really kind of, shaking up the whole health and wellness world because we are pioneering the bioactive peptide world and making these peptides accessible, because before they were only available through prescription and therapeutic. So whole new world has opened up for everybody.
Wow. So you're like at the edge of the industry here, where you're taking what has been made and what has been for years created in a lab to help our bodies in the intent of, trying to help our bodies. They're taking it out of the lab and they're making it accessible so that we can get it into our bodies without all the added unnecessary
Do no harm. No harm.
Yeah. Oh my goodness, this is awesome. This is super excited. So, okay, so there's different ways to get them through the company, and you said that they're Make Wellness.
Right. And you actually, I believe you have a link that you were gonna share with people as well. What I want you to know too, which is really important, because people, if you're nerdy like I am, you want to know all the back end stuff and the grit. Human clinical trials, like, they're there. So these are not just claims; these are proven results. Again, without any side effects. They're just, and I want people to think of them. They are just a really super honed in, targeted supplement. That can get the job done.
Yeah, that's great. That's great. Oh my goodness, thank you so much. So tell us, where can people find you?
Yeah. So I think do we have my link there? Yes. I have a private Facebook group that I would love to have you be a part of. It's called Green Mission Possible Living Clean and Simple. And we'll share that link. In there, I talk about anything from, like what I mentioned earlier, what's in your environment, what's on the end of your fork, supplements, exercise. I'm a very big fan of movement. I think it's very important as we age. And just anything to help you live a better, healthier, longer, more enjoyable life. And I do love and encourage conversation in the group. Sometimes it's just me just talking, sharing tips, but I do love for people to be a part of the conversation. So I'd love to have you join it. You're welcome to invite your friends. The more helpful information we can share, the more we can help people, the better off I think this world is. So
yeah, no, I think that's awesome. And then there's different ways. Let's see. I know you were sharing. Oh my goodness, I just lost the thought, but I was thinking about it. What was it? I don't know, like you mentioned something and then it triggered me to think of something else. But yes, in the group, when she invited me over a month ago, and I've just been following, and that's how, that's kind of how I started. I was like curious about different things. And obviously I had a situation going on around my waistline. So that's what, prompted me to reach out to Win and to learn a little bit more as well. But yes, I do have, if you decide that, hey, you want, and I jumped on it because I'm super excited. I love to partner up. If you know me, I love to partner up with other people who are along the same mission, where we're trying to live cleaner, safer, better, and we're trying to improve our lives, but at the same time make impact on other people's lives. And so that's how this whole episode, that's how this whole podcast and weekly show, Living Well with Purpose, was birthed, is just because of all the information that I have been able to have had the privilege of learning over the years. But it's so much more than just Norwex. And I love the Lord. I love Jesus. I want to be able to share that with other people. And this was just a good platform for me to be able to do that. And so I think it's so great that Win was able to hop on and share with us my new learning, and that's on the peptides. So I do have an affiliate link. If you would like that, just put in the comments peptides, and I'll reach out to you and we can have a little bit more conversation about it. And you can ask me some questions. And if I don't know, I'm going to ask Win. And if Win doesn't know, she'll find out for us. So she's my expert. And I know she's continuing to do more and more research, which is awesome. That's what we need to do. We need to partner up with others who are continuing to do research, and not just be led by what is out in the market. What is the world telling us? What's TV telling us? We do not just want to stop there and be like, oh yeah, you want to do your own research. So if nothing else, go home, do your own research on these peptides. What are you finding? And yeah, reach out for sure and get those questions out. Now, I mentioned in the end that I have, that I was going to share this one last little thing of how you can share the gospel with these candy canes. Now, my church handed out these, so I have 3 that I can mail out to whoever, just comment candy cane in the comments, and I will make sure to get these out to you for the first top 3. Now, in there, you're going to find a little box, a little gift that you can go to the grocery store. Whoever it is checking you out, like you can just give them this little gift, right? Or the post man comes by, or the UPS, you can leave them out and give this to them. And what it is there is going to be a candy cane in there. And there's a little card in here that tells you exactly what the candy cane means. So I'm going to read this to you. Look at the candy cane. What do you see? Stripes that are red, like the blood shed for me. White for my Savior, who's sinless and pure. J is for Jesus, my Lord. That's for sure. Turn it around, and a staff you will see. Jesus, my shepherd, was born for me. So I think that is just a sweet reminder of what Christmas is truly about. And as we go into the Christmas season, I just think I wanted to leave that with you. So if you want these 3, that you can just put it in the comments, candy cane, and I'll get these out to you. Comment peptides if you want to learn more about peptides and you're wanting to get these peptides into your home so that you can get started. As a supplement, I'm taking them. I'm getting ready to. I'm super excited about it. So you can start that journey with me as well. And make sure that you reach out to and join with, let's see, there, I put it on there. Wynn's group there, because there's a wealth of knowledge that you can continue as you do your research on the topic of peptides as well. So thank you, Wynn, for hopping on with me. We went a little bit longer than we usually do, but thank you to my listeners just for being a part of this journey with me. And we will see you guys next week. So
thank you for having me.
thank you, Wynn.